Just, I guess, for a quick reference, the Learning Commons includes the traditional library with paper books, and then as well our, what we've coined the Hunt Interactive Classroom, which is a lot more technology driven, but intended to be a complement and a support to the traditional library system. The idea was really to break the mold on what people think of as a K-12 building and provide spaces that administrators, teachers, and even students can be proud of and want to be in. The idea is to get the kids into the school and enjoy the process of learning. A lot of the stuff from the design competition regarding the interactive classroom had to do with utilizing both outdoor and indoor space. The idea behind the windows, which you'll see a lot of interesting window patterns throughout the space, was this idea of traditional, you know, you look at traditional buildings, traditional K-12 buildings, and even looking out into that courtyard, you see a lot of pattern, you see a lot of rhythm along the facade of a building. So the idea was, if you look at the outside of these buildings, they're very rhythmic all the way up to the interactive classroom. And the idea was almost kind of this explosion of learning and everything that's going on inside of that space. So you've got the rhythm leading up to this mass explosion, which is trying to take the old and incorporate the new and make them work. So this is the main space of the interactive classroom. So this main space, the idea in this main space was flexibility. Flexibility, flexibility, flexibility. They didn't want any specific agenda at all for this space. They wanted to be able to use it in a large group instruction. They wanted to be able to use it in small, lots of small groups, and then even medium group. Because this is intended not always to be a kind of a lecture space, but a space that the kids can actually come, connect to Wi-Fi with tablets or computers, whatever they're using, and sit at these tables and browse the internet or whatever they need to do. This lighting system has a whole computer system associated to it that's had a predetermined foot candle that should be provided. So depending on how much sunlight is coming in through the immense amount of window space, it will adjust those lights automatically without the end user ever doing anything. So if we move into this room, again, the idea was flexibility, lots of flexibility. So we provided this fully folding partition door. So this door completely opens out of the way. So they really could set it up so that you're sitting here and broadcasting out this direction rather than the way the furniture is laid out. So lots of flexibility. This room was deemed the Harkness Room, and that came from a couple of things. The table itself is a Harkness table, but the idea here is a Socratic type of teaching. So the idea is that there is no head of the table, kind of like the old King Arthur's round table. But the teacher and the students are all sitting at this table collaborating. Lots of flat space, spread papers and spread such, but as you can see from the one pullout, each station has its own pullout. So we've talked about the light and how much incredible light there is in this space. But there's also the problem of projection, because we provided a projector, huge screen that comes down on the front of this. But if you've got all this light, how do you use a projector? So we put in motor controlled shades, which actually are really simple. Again, the idea here was put nice systems in, really good, cool systems, but make it easy for the end user. So you've got 3 buttons on this system. One takes them up, one takes them down, and one takes them to halfway. But what's really cool is you can black this whole room out with the press of one button. So if I press the down button, you're going to notice, first you're going to notice the back shades as these are dropping. So it's blacking out that back room. The next thing you're going to notice is that they're dropping on the front window as well. So now we've got the shades dropping on the front window. So the idea behind this system was that you don't have to have a $500,000 system to connect to another $500,000 system. I mean, you can do it with as simple as a $500 iPad or a $300 computer. Anybody can call. Now, obviously, the best solution is to connect a good system with a good system. But the capabilities of this were meant to go from basically ground zero up as high as you wanted to take it.